Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Scott's Thoughts. I'm Scott Benedict. In my last episode, I talked a little bit about something about what happens when AI becomes effectively the shopper and becomes an agent for a consumer, and why that fundamentally changes how retail decisions are made. Today, I want to build upon what we talked about last time, and I want to sit with the next uncomfortable question for those of us in omnichannel retail. And the question is, are we ready for that world? Are we ready for a world where machines influence the decisions that consumers make? Because one of the most interesting things that I came across while reviewing recent research from a company called Miracle, they're an e-commerce service provider, specifically work that they did on something called the agentic era of commerce, is how clearly it separates interest in AI from readiness for AI-driven shopping. Now, a lot of retail organizations are experimenting with AI right now. They use it for chatbots, for content generation, for analytics pilots. All that activity creates the feeling of progress. But what it doesn't necessarily mean is that those businesses are prepared for a world where AI agents are actively deciding which products to recommend to a shopper and which ones to ignore. Miracle frames readiness in a very practical way in this research paper that I read. It's not a vision statement or a technology roadmap, but it is kind of a simple question. Can AI agents reliably find your product, understand them, trust them, and recommend them to shoppers during an AI-assisted shopping journey? When you look at readiness through that lens, things become very clear very quickly about where our industry is headed. What stands out to me is that agent readiness isn't about one system, one team, or one functional group. It cuts across fundamentals of how retail organizations actually operate. It starts with product data, not how attractive it is on a website, but whether it's structured, consistent, machine-readable, has complete attributes, has clean metadata, images and descriptions that don't require interpretation or guesswork. There's broad context and social proof. AI agents don't feel brand the way a human does. They need structured access to ratings and reviews, differentiation, and credibility signals that explain why one product should be recommended over a different product. In that context isn't always available in a way that machines can understand. The brand advantage doesn't always translate the way it does with a human shopper. Pricing and promotions also offer another reality check. Are prices accurate everywhere, all of the time? Are promotions reflected in real time? Even small inconsistencies can erode trust instantly for an AI shopping agent that's trying to make a confident recommendation to a shopper. Fulfillment is where it often gets even more fragile. Inventory availability, delivery promises, estimated arrival dates, if those aren't reliable and exposed in real time, AI agents will either hedge their recommendations or skip that product entirely. Humans might tolerate uncertainty, but machines don't. And finally, there's performance visibility. Can you actually see when AI agents are driving discovery, traffic, or conversion? Or does that activity appear in your analytics into generic buckets that tell you nothing about what's really going on in the performance of your digital shopping properties? One of the things Miracle talks about in their research does particularly well strip away this kind of abstraction. These aren't philosophical questions, they say. They're yes or no realities. Either the data is accessible or it isn't. Either it's current or it isn't. Either the systems are connected or they're not. Based on those fundamentals, readiness tends to fall into three broad categories. At the earliest stages, many organizations simply aren't visible to what AI agents are doing or how they're impacting their shopping experience. Basics aren't in place, so products are misrepresented or never considered to a consumer who's shopping for them at all. In the middle are companies that are technically agent ready. AI can work with their data, but performance is inconsistent and optimization, hasn't really begun. And at the leading edge, a small number of retail organizations that treat agentic commerce as core infrastructure. Their data is fast, reliable, and designed for machines first. They're not just being discovered, they're being consistently recommended by shopping agents more consistently and on a more optimal basis. Here's the part that I think leaders in our industry need to hear clearly. Perfect scores don't matter, awareness does. The real value in thinking about agentic commerce and readiness for agentic commerce this way is to label yourself as ahead or behind. It's really to identify where trust breaks down first and to fix that before that breakdown compounds. Because once AI agents stop trusting your data, they don't tell you, you won't get an email, you won't get an alert, you just will quietly lose relevance in ways that you haven't experienced in the past. So if you're leading a retail or brand organization right now, perhaps the most important step isn't launching something new, it's asking a few basic questions about your business. Can AI reliably understand what it is that we sell? Can it trust our prices and our promises? Can we see how it's interacting with us? If the answer to any of these is, well, I'm not sure, that's a sign, that's a signal for you. In the agentic era, readiness isn't about being innovative, it's about being dependable at the speed of the machines. That's what I've been thinking about. I'm Scott Benedict.